Alright, and here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gresvan, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. Oh, the best Zerg player in all of South Korea. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gresvan, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran, currently teamless, but still representing that Psystorm clan tag. It is GuMiho. Just letting some people know about what is going on. All right, I'll get into it later. For the time being, we do have a series before us, and we do have Dark going for a pool first opener. Again, quite common here from Dark in this matchup to try and get an early lead here and an early advantage. Yeah, it's kind of a Dark thing. Oh god. So yeah, that's why he has a bit of a reputation for being a very aggressive player overall, especially in this matchup. He's willing to go for so many different kind of roach timings and roach all-ins, and that can all stem from early spawning pools like this. Meanwhile, with this early pool, we do have 6 slings on the way being sent out across the map. GuMiho has not quite gone for any scouting right now, not yet anyway. As back at home, he is going for that Rax expand. Reaper is on the way. Thankfully, he's not going to be skipping it. There are times where he's going to be a little bit greedy and try and go into a reactor first, for example, or marine first. But the Reaper is now out. And yo, is GuMiho, he's going to stick around. Oh my god, I love it. GuMiho knows. He knows about Dark's tendencies to go for pool first, and he will be staying back at home despite not scouting anything across the map. But despite that, the Lings have still arrived. The SCV for GuMiho is still in trouble. The Reaper trying to micro his heart out here against the Lings. The CC is being delayed. Meanwhile, ooh, the Lings are going to be able to get a kill on one of these SCVs. Can he get the second? Oh, he wants it. He wants it. One of us. Ooh. He will get the second building SCV, and it will cost him all 6 of those Lings, but this is kind of worth it here. Not just killing workers, but also a massive delay on this CC. This will disrupt the opener of GuMiho and will disrupt his flow of the game. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark, he's just droning on up, pulling out of gas completely, getting fast link speed. Oh, and this overall does delay his 3rd hatchery, but he will eventually work towards it. It is okay as... God damn it. As we have a lot happening right now. Okay, so 1, GuMiho is going for a 1-1-1 opener, not a faster economic opener like a 3cc build. We have a fusion core on the way. He's going for BCs at the same time. The Rax is revealing itself, so at least mech is confirmed for Dark. The potential for BC is there, and Dark is not droning. He droned up to 27, but he is amassing a massive amount of Lings. The wall is not a wall. He wants to flood in and kill GuMiho. Oof. Here we go, the Lings are racing across the map. I believe the Reapers may have been able to catch wind of what is going on, but is it too late? GuMiho stuck out on the map with these Hellions, and the Lings are getting across the map. It looks like Dark first wants to deal with these units, and he does get the Reaper. Oh, but there's just... yeah, too much at home to defend. 4 Hellions now. I feel like if Dark had a window, he may have just missed it. And that BC is on the way. How many queens do we have? Oh, we don't have that many. We have 4 queens right now. We're about to have 6. That's okay. We don't have creep connecting the bases, though. This may just deal too much damage. Spores are on the way, thankfully, so Dark is playing this out safe. Again, he saw the floating racks. He knows about the potential for mech, the potential for BCs or Banshees. Oh my god, he's committing. And we even have Yamato on the way. Oh boy. Alright. Well, Dark is preparing himself. I do love this. He's going to be spreading creep in between his bases, connecting all of his bases with that creep. Spores are finishing up We currently have those 6 queens. We're about to have 8 momentarily. The first BC is about to finish up, and are we going to teleport across the map? Oh, it looks like we are. End up teleporting behind the main base. We're gonna dip on in. The first eyes on this spore and the queens. The BC reveals itself. Yamato is still not done, but this BC is gonna be getting a lot of economic damage. The target firing is insane, and 6 drones go down. Almost 7. 6 drones and at least 1 overlord, probably 2, maybe even 3. A lot of these overlords are very exposed. Dark doing his best to try and pull them back and save as many as possible. Behind this, Dark just droning as much as he can to recoup his losses. He does have a decent amount of lings as well to stop any kind of Hellion dive. And speaking of, that's exactly what's happening. GuMiho is going to be looking for an opening with his Hellions. Going to try and force the queens out of position with his BCs. We'll see if he can pull this off. 2 factories are on the way back at home. Again, confirmation of mech, which we were already quite privy to. Already aware. Oh. The Hellions just poking, prodding here at the 4th base. Second BC is going to be teleporting in. Bearing in mind now that we have Yamato, 2 queens will die immediately. Ugh, 2 high energy queens as well. But there is so much DPS output here from Dark. He's able to force them all back. Does lose a decent amount of queens and lings, but he holds on and protects his 4th base. The power of Dark. Every single queen was brought to the front lines. That was 9 queens in total. Jesus. 9 queens does defend the 4th. Behind this, we have that Spire on the way, and yeah, GuMiho should be able to defend against this Roach push. Roaches are trickling on out, but they shouldn't be able to do too much because of the BCs. Same time, Hellions try to go for a run by, but they are deflected by the queens. Decent trades against the Hellions, to be honest. Like, we are losing Roaches, but maybe it's worth it just because of GuMiho's hindered economy, just because of the openers overall. Shaving off whatever Hellions we can. Behind this, Dark is going to be droning up, saturating his bases, prioritizing his gases as well. That's the thing, when you do go this style, Roach Corruptor, it does require a lot more gas than other compositions. As a result, he does take his 7th and 8th gas. Very, very quickly. Meanwhile, the BC survives, does teleport back home. Dark is trying to find a bit of an opening with those roaches. Burrow's on the way. Yo, you're gonna make use of tunneling claws? I would be all for that. Unfortunately, no tunneling claws on the way. We have +1 flyer attack, 1/1 as well for the roaches, and even to support the lings a little bit with that carapace. An interesting choice. Because of the 1/1, this does signify that Dark wants to go for a much more Roach Ravager heavy composition, not so much lings. Which isn't always the case against mech. So because of this, he's going to have just a beefier, bulkier army. GuMiho trying to find another way in, does meet the queens at least. The BCs are rotating around the edge of the map, going for that 4th. Oh, the Cyclones have revealed themselves. They get some decent lock-ons, but the Transfuses keep the queens alive. Nice little back and forth between the 2 players. Ooh, and these Corruptors have to be careful. They're actually moving out of position. The BCs are towards the right-hand side. And that's where the Corruptors are needed. Or maybe they aren't. Oh my god, he's actually going to go for the CC! Wow, really? Who is out of position? The Corruptors or the BCs? There we go. They're forced to turn around. They teleport back home. The Biles do connect on the BCs. And now that they're forced to teleport back home, they cannot escape. Beautiful setup here for Dark. He does take a lot of mine shots to the face, but every BC is going to go down. Worth it. The Roach army does crumble though, and that is a little bit concerning. GuMiho is going to be able to go for a bit of a counterattack. He's going to at least have that map control with his battle mech. Behind this, we're just maxing out on pure Roach. Pure Roach. There's tunneling claws that we were talking about earlier. Very solid army here from Dark. Designed to kill, designed to just force his way through. GuMiho wants to go for a bit of a counterattack, but oh, Dark is lying in wait. Oh my god! Oh, that's around! Was that even intentional? Tunneling Claws is not even done, and just like that, a decent chunk of Cyclones and Hellions go down. Dark with the setup. I don't even think it was intentional, but my god! It was a trap, Papi. How do you get on top of Battlemech? It's so mobile. Mate, you just let the Battlemech get on top of you. That's all you gotta do, Papi. Here we go. The Corruptors, after resetting the BC count, they're gonna be going for a bit of harassment. There we go. They do try to fire down that planetary. At the same time, the Roaches move on forward as well. Bit of an overextension here from Dark, but the Ravagers move on forward. At nice eyes, he's able to file down that Widow Mine. And after this trade, Dark, he's just making more Roaches. 85 drones, that is all he needs. That is all he is staying at. 85 drones and 5 hatcheries. 2 twos on the way, pathogen glands as well. A transition into Hydras and a Hive. And now that Dark has maxed out on Roaches, he will be able to borrow them and just send everything across the map. Do we have any detection? We have a turret here towards the south. No, oh, we have a turret here at the front door as well. So GuMiho is kind of set up for this. There is an opening though. There is an area here that doesn't have detection. Dark is about to be revealed. There we go. The Roaches have been spotted here. Dark isn't able to catch GuMiho with his pants down. The Roach Ravagers is dancing here with those Cyclones. Despite that, the Roaches are finding some damage. They take down the turrets and they take down some SCVs. At the same time, Dark coming back into the planetary. Ooh, is going to be repaired. Dark doesn't want to bleed out too much, and I love this. He is going to be reinforcing with Lings and with Infestors. Again, pure Roach just doesn't really trade too well against this. It's not very supply efficient, but it has its moments, and I feel like that moment has come and gone. We need to refine our army a little bit more. That is with Lings. And we're just taking in every direction. Dark, his economy has been left untouched because of how aggressive Dark was with his pure Roach army. GuMiho was on the back foot. He had to respect it. He had to stay at home. And Dark has just been left alone to get that Hive, work on Adrenal Glands, work on the Greater Spire, Lunker Den, 3-3, everything you could ever wish for. And as GuMiho goes for a counterattack, he gets bamboozled by the Ling reinforcements. I'm sure he was expecting pure Roach, but that is not what Dark had to work with. Oh, Ling's having a hard time crashing into these tanks, but this makes room for the Roach Ravager to get a little bit closer. They bile down at least one of them. And Dark is okay trading. Doesn't want to lose too much here in the retreat. He is forced back onto creep. There we go. The Greater Spire is finishing. We can transition into Broodlords. That's exactly what we're seeing. 7 Corruptors are on the way. And we're not ready for this. We don't have any Thors. We don't have any Vikings. We have a BC. 1 BC. That is all we have for anti-air, really. And Cyclones, but Cyclones can have a really awkward time getting on top of Broodlords. And there it is. There is a Broodlord switch. Dark with just so much control. Behind this, we have continued BC production. We are getting into Ghost, which is a wise choice. Mech Ghost is kind of where we want to be going here as the Terran player. 3-3 on the way. I love how we even have 1-1. I don't know if that's worth it. Like, we're not really using the Ghosts for their auto attacks, you know? We're using them for the EMPs and snipes specifically, but okay, I guess it kind of helps. It does help. Meanwhile, with this scan, the Broodlords have been revealed. Disable the Infestor. You don't see that too often. But very nicely done. Yamatos are going to be going off. We are now up to 2 BCs. We only have a single Infestor. Looking for a Fungal, maybe a Neural as well. Oh, and here we go. The Broodlords do reveal themselves. Well, they do push on forward here. Thors are on the way. Ghosts are on the way, but they're not ready yet. We have a Nidus in the face of his opponent. We have a lot of snipes going off as well. But we have a detection. We have such an insane army here from Dark. 8 Broodlords, 2 Infestors, Roaches, Ravagers, Queens waddling on in as well, because why not? God, even the Biles having such an impact on how the army moves here for GuMiho. And with these ghost reinforcements, never mind, we have the fungal. Oh, the fungal shuts down the snipes. And with that, this Broodlord push, it's game ending. It has done so much. It took down a base, it took down 25 SCVs, reset the tank count, and he's even getting on top of the ghosts. That was a cash money fungal we saw earlier. Can we get it again? Oh, the fungal does miss. And GuMiho is going to be able to hold on. But look at this creep. Look at the Nidus. Ay, ay, ay. Look at the reinforcements, mate. That's the real thing to be looking at. GuMiho is trying to force himself back. He does have Thor Ghost, which is a good composition to be working with, but at this point, he just doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't have the supply. The Ling Bane is rolling on forward. The Banelings are trying to find those detonations on those Ghosts. Don't quite get them. The Ghosts will survive, but I can't say the same. Oh my god, about the Thors or the BCs. Banelings coming from behind. GG gets called, and Dark will take game 1. Ooh. GG. Oh. And with that, Dark will be taking lead in this series after a pretty dynamic game, to be honest. We saw mech, we saw an early spawning pool as well. Oh, it was crazy, pup. It was crazy. I'm just trying to figure something out. Oh, feels bad, man. All right, but if you recall, there was an issue, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where there was someone impersonating a caster. Now someone is impersonating an admin. You love to see it. You love to see it. Unfortunately, it is something that we have to deal with from time to time. If you're wondering the purpose of this, it is, of course, some Korean bettors out there, some gamblers looking to get a bit of an edge here when it comes to the gambling and all that good stuff. Has happened before. It's an issue. It's a problem. We're dealing with it. Oh, but we are also continuing our series and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the best Zerg in all of South Korea. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran. Ooh, dropping game number 1, but fighting back here in game number 2. The teamless Terran, but also showing off his old clan tag, Psystorm Gaming. It is GuMiho. And this time, Dark is going for a hatch first. If you recall, it happened a while ago, but in game number 1, Dark did go for a pull first opener to be aggressive with some lings to be in the face of his opponent, and he was able to get some nice damage done. He was able to kill 2 SCVs and get a massive delay on the CC of GuMiho. This time though, a much more standard opener here. Much more normal, much more economic and safe. So Dark, not looking to go for the same opener 2 games in a row, wants to keep his opponent guessing, keep GuMiho in the dark. And we'll see how GuMiho will respond. In game 1, he kind of went into his old bag of tricks. You know, something that GuMiho is known for is mech in TvZ. He's one of the few Terran players out there that actually does favor it and do it more often than not compared to Bio. He can play Bio, don't get me wrong, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does play, you know, Bio tank here in game number 2. But he does have these mech urges, these mech tendencies that sometimes just take over his body, and he can't control himself. he just has to play mech. He just has to make BCs. It's a problem. It's a big problem. I don't know how to help him. I want to help him. It's hurting others. It's hurting me. Stop playing mech, GuMiho. You're He's pushing these tendencies onto others on the ladder. It's not good. It's not good. We need it to stop. He's influencing all these other people. But he is damn good at it, as once again he lifts up his racks to clean out this Overlord towards the center of the map. This will be keeping Dark in the dark, as we have a 3cc before Starport build. Very economic. Just because the racks was floated initially doesn't mean it's going to be mech, as it is coming back home. Meanwhile, this Reaper of GuMiho was able to delay the third a little bit for Dark as well, so he was able to deal some inadvertent damage that way. But yeah, from here, we'll see what the setup is. Thankfully, the Rax is back at home doing what it should be doing. We do have a pretty standard follow-up. Hellions and Liberators behind this. Dark should be getting ready for that soon with a couple of spores. Unfortunately, because of the opener, because his Overlord got killed, he has a really hard time discerning whether this is a regular 1-1-1 or a 3cc opener. Oh, as we get a tech lab on the Rax. Oh, please don't just be there to add-on swap. Please. Give us some stim, Papi. Give it to us. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. As it looks like any other issues have been resolved. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. And there we go. As if on cue, the spores are on the way. Dark doesn't know if it's for if there's a Banshee opener or a Liberator, so he's just going to be getting ready for Banshees just in case. These spores will have to be repositioned once the Liberator shows itself, but again, Dark just has to play it safe because of the limited scouting information. You love to see that he's not really cutting any corners. He's just respecting his opponent, respecting the lack of information that he has, and the Liberator is revealed. And there we go. As if on cue, the spore does reposition. At the same time, Hellions are trying to find an opening. They were hoping that maybe the Queens would be busy with the Liberator, but no, Dark is quick to respond, quick to reposition, and fend off those Hellions. Oh, beautiful, man, beautiful. And from here, we are getting Bio, you know? Again, just because we floated the initial racks doesn't mean it has to be mech. We do have Stim on the way, 1-1, double NG bays, and that 3 rack setup. Beautiful, beautiful. You love to see it. Meanwhile, we do see a Liberator showing up here as well, repositioned, and as a result, it's going to be able to bypass that Spore Crawler. At the same time, the Hellions are trying to come in as well, but oh, Dark just too good to reposition. That Liberator gets cleaned up. Thankfully, GuMiho doesn't commit, and he doesn't just lose and throw away his Hellions. That would be a disastrous position to be in. He still maintains his map control. doing his best to clear up as much of this creep. At the same time, ooh, as the Hellions move out, the Lings move in. They get a surround on the Marines, and they're punishing how active GuMiho has been. 2 SCVs go down. Very nicely done. And what's important is we saw the Marines. Because we saw that, Dark should now be aware that there is a bioproduction on the way. Marines are being produced. It isn't pure mech. As he's still committing into a Roach army anyway. Your Roaches are on the way. Hellions diving on forward here, going to try and kill a Queen, but the rest are here. The rest of the Queens are here to support. We have the Transfuse. The Queens will survive. Dark once again going for another counterattack, and again, this isn't just to deal damage, but also to confirm the production. And there we go. We have confirmation. Even more Marines are on the way. Not just an initial 3. And Dark has been able to find himself at a really good drone count. 78 drones. Not really ideal, but with what Dark is up to, it's okay because he's making a massive Roach army. It looks like he wants to hit a bit of a 1-1 timing. And without tanks, without Banshees, without too much of a defensive line, Dark, he can overwhelm the Terran, and he's looking to do that. The Roaches have been scouted. But we still don't have too much of a backbone here for GuMiho. As Dark is still not droning, by the way, he's still just making nothing but Roaches, because Roaches is all he needs. We still have to wait a little bit longer. We're still waiting for our upgrades. +1 is going to finish up in 10 seconds. +1 Carapace is still a ways off, but we may just not care. Oh, ooh. Dark having to be very careful with his Roach movements. And it has to be careful not to really show his hand too much either. He's getting ready for any kind of draw play here. Lings are on the way, +2 attacks starting up. I keep going to the natural to look at the upgrades because I'm just used to it. The upgrades are at the 3rd. Ooh. A little bit of bio-friendly fire there, but here we go. We're pulling the trigger now that we have our upgrades. Dark is maxed out. 200 supply, 25 Roaches, and 8 Ravagers. Again, we're not about that drone life. We're about that Roach life, as there's just no tanks to defend. There's 2 tanks being made at a time, but they're just not here in time. We have 1 tank at the natural base, but the 3rd is forfeit. And even though we have a tank, we have plenty of vials to deal with it. GuMiho getting caught with his pants down at the same time across the map. The drop also gets cleaned up. We're just waiting for those reinforcements, especially now that the drop is no longer a threat. We do now have 2 tanks popping out here, but that's not going to slow Dark down. There we go. The Biles connect once again. And GuMiho is stuck on 2 bases. Now, this position is quite difficult to break, but with enough Ravagers, with enough Biles, anything is possible. Behind this, 2-2 on the way. Dark has control of everything else. The Biles will be connecting. Oh, we'll be forcing the army back at least a little bit, and there we go. They take down the tank on the low ground. And sure, we have 2 tanks on the high ground, but they don't really cover everything. These depots are under threat. The production as well. GuMiho being punished for his delayed tank production, for not quite scouting and confirming how heavily Dark was committing into the Roach production as well. Oof. We have some nice dodges with the Biles. Like, the Marines are doing quite well for themselves, but no, the tanks, they moved down to the low ground, and Dark, I'm sure that's what he wanted. The Biles rain on down once again. It looks like GuMiho will take the fight, but that was still a good trade for Dark. Up, 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 up. Dark sending out some Biles, forcing GuMiho to dance to his music. Back at home, Hive is on the way. +2 Carapace, +2 missiles, or +2 range is already done here for Dark. He has a great hatchery count, base count, drone count. And here we go, he's pushing him once again. No, the Marines! Oh, the Marines are out of position. The tanks are exposed. And the tanks are really the only thing keeping GuMiho in this game. But But as they fall, the roaches, they just edge ever closer. They gain more ground. Oof. What was that? 5 tanks going down. Not something you want to be seeing. We even have some vials connecting with those medevacs in the retreat. How does he do it? How does he do it, Papi? Ay, ay, ay. Of course, token swarm host on the way. You love to see it. Up, up, up. There we go. It happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of the Zergs out there. Just fumbling a little bit with the hotkeys. Now we have a swarm host. It's beautiful. As GuMiho, he just doesn't know how to stop. He doesn't know how to stop making roaches. Just continues to send wave after wave. But every single time the defenses of GuMiho are getting weaker and weaker. And that's why we can afford it. That's why we can afford these trades. There's that swarm host. You love to see it. Can we even get a locust wave? Let's go. The swarm, he just wants to be a part of the party. He wants to be involved. Ah, it's beautiful. We're checking for a 4th CC, but there is none. Once again, GuMiho knocked down to 2 bases. His tournament life is on the line. He doesn't want to just give it up here and now. And again, he is trading more efficiently. Looking at the units lost tab here, you can see Dark has lost more minerals and more gas. Dark hasn't been efficient at all, but he has all these bases. He has an economy, and GuMiho doesn't. GuMiho just doesn't even have 3 bases mining right now. That's why Dark can be as inefficient as possible and still get away with it. Oh, the locust wave! Send it, Papi, send it. So cute. 3rd base once again denied. We do have a drop across the map, and hey, this drop is dealing some damage. The hatchery is going to go down, so, you know, GuMiho does do some counter damage here, but losing a hatchery isn't really too impactful. Waiting for another drop here at the center base. Now, if Dark wanted to really seal the deal, he would be throwing down some spires. He could go into Mass Muta. He would go into Broodlords. Dark has options, or he can just ape it up and just make nothing but Roach Ravager. He can just be a little bit stubborn and be like, no, I'm just gonna keep making Roach Ravager. Okay, I don't care. I don't even care, mate. I don't want to transition. I don't need to transition, and he's not wrong. He doesn't need to. Meanwhile, the tank count once again getting pretty high, up to the 7 count. Dark getting ready for a pseudo surround, waiting for GuMiho to take an expansion. Oh, and here we go, he's pulling the trigger. Is there enough Marines? Are there enough Marines to protect these tanks? The answer is no. The Lings flood on forward. That was something that Dark was missing earlier. And with the power of these Lings, it's too much. GG gets called, and Dark takes the series 2-0. GG. Oh, GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark for taking the series, for taking it all, and for advancing on into the next round. My condolences to GuMiho. Did put up a good fight, did try out some varying different builds against Dark, but alas, it was not meant to be. GG. Well played, well played. Some great games nonetheless, great games nonetheless, and GuMiho will have another chance in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, we have to take a bit of a step back and figure out what exactly is going on.